Hey guys, welcome back. So in this video, we are going to see how to make the view order page in our PHP e-commerce project. So previously we had made the view orders page where we have fetched all the orders and displayed the tracking number, price, date and this button of view details. So now we are going to make this clickable. So once the user click it, he will be able to see the order details along with the order items of this particular order. So let's get started with it. So here is our myorders.php page and we have the button over here. Say view order. You can give an hyphen in between view order.php and pass the tracking number. You can say tracking or t is equal to anyhow. You can just give it other t is equal to and just print the tracking number over there. Okay, so you got the tracking number and we'll create a page with this name. Let me just zoom in. Yeah. So in your root directory over here, let me create a new file called viewOrder.php. So now when the user clicks on the view details button, it will come to this page. Okay, let me just show you, refresh, and this tracking number has a df character in the last. Let me click and see you have a df and it is vieworders.php. Okay, so let's go to this page and we'll just copy the main layout, copy and paste it over here. Remove the whole table from here. Okay, and you can just say my orders or you can say add one more, copy and view order. This thing we don't need to keep it clickable, right? So just add a hash over here, or if you just leave it empty then it will just reload the page whenever you click this. Okay, so this is done, authenticate is done, and before loading that page we need to check if the tracking number is present in the URL or not. Okay, so first over here we're going to just say if a set function of dollar underscore post of dollar underscore get, because it is from the URL, right, of t, so we are just given it t, so if it is there then we're going to fetch it. Okay, so create a variable over here called dollar tracking number is equal to dollar underscore get of t. Okay, or if it is not present then we have to just show that tracking number is missing from the page, or you can just show a standard message that something went wrong. Just divide the PHP. Okay, and over here you can just keep a h4 tag, say something went wrong. So now coming to the if part. So if it is present, we have fetched it and stored it in a tracking number variable. Now we have to check if that tracking number exists or not. So we are going to write a query over here, or you can just write it in your user functions.php and call that over here. Let's do that. So I will write it over here, function check valid tracking, or say check tracking number valid function, and we will pass a parameter over here, say the tracking number. Okay, and over here we need to take the global con first. Okay, and also the user ID. So we are taking the user ID because when we are checking the tracking number, if it is valid or not, it should also belong to the user, right, who's the logged in user. So I can get the tracking number of somebody's order and then I cannot view the order details by my login details. So I need the authenticated user's tracking number only to be allowed. Okay, so now let's write the query, say dollar query is equal to select star from orders where the tracking number is equal to our variable, that is dollar tracking number, and the user underscore ID is equal to dollar user ID. Okay, and then you can just copy this MySQL query function and return that. Okay, and just remove this if you don't require, because you're just returning it, right? So no use of storing it over here. So we've got this. Now let's call this function over there. Say check valid tracking number, pass the argument, and store this in a variable over here. Okay, so can say dollar result, and now we're going to check this if my SQLi num rows of dollar result is greater than 0. So if there exists any record with this condition, like where the tracking number is this and it belongs to the logged in user, then this will return one row as the result. So here we're checking if it is greater than 0. So if at all there is something like that in our database, this will return 1, else it will be 0. So if it is greater than 0, that means it belongs to the user. And if it is not greater than 0, then it means the tracking number is not valid. So we'll just give this one. If it is less than 0, then again you can just give this, copy and paste. Something went wrong, else the user can continue to view the rest of the page. So you don't have to write the else over here. So this much is done. And if the so once this is done, right, we have to stop the execution of this script. So give the die function over here and over here as well. Can give exit or die, anything. Okay, so once we have got the correct tracking number, we've got that thing in our dollar result, or let's call it dollar data. Okay, order data, say order data. We'll just copy it, and over here we need to show the order details again, right? So we'll divide the screen into two parts, where we'll have one side the order details and this side the product. Okay, ordered items. So let me just make this, say dot card header, say order details or order view, and inside the card body we'll have a row dot call md6, and over here we'll have the name, email, phone. Let me say dot border, and I'll just give p1, and over here I'm going to echo the data. It is dollar order data of name. So you just go over here, refresh, view details. Cannot use object of MySQL result in array. Okay, so this is because we have not fetched a single record using the MySQL fetch array function, because it is a MySQL object, right? So you have to iterate it to use the single data. So what we can do for that is, if it is having greater than 0, then it's going to come to the else part, or let us just write it over here. Say MySQL fetch array, and over here you can just pass your dollar order data, paste, and here you're going to say dollar data is equal to, so now we can use this dollar data over here. Refresh. So you got the name. Let us give the label over there, about this thing, label, say name, go back, we'll just check for the other order. Yeah, so you got the name over here. And then what else we have? Let us just go to our database. So we have the name, email, phone, address, pin code. Okay, so let's do that. Copy that and just paste name, email, or let's do a thing. So this is the main column MD6, right? Then we're going to make a dot row dot call MD12. Okay, and now we can just copy and paste this thing so it doesn't break the responsiveness again. So email, the phone, and the tracking number. Okay, and I think we need to reduce the label size. It's already small. Just say font weight bold, refresh. Okay, let's give some margin to this. Say MB3, then refresh. It's too much, I'll just put it 2. Say MB2, refresh. Yeah, looks fine. And we'll just make it bold for now. We will just reduce the size later. Just copy this, or you can just copy the whole thing and just select this thing, paste. Okay, so what else? Have name, email, phone, address, and pin code, right? So just copy this. This is for the address, and this is for the pin code. Pin code or zip code, whatever you call it in your place. It says pin code. Just pin underscore code. No, refresh. Yeah, and over here we are going to show the order details. I mean the ordered items. So you can add a heading over here before this. Yeah, over here after this column MD6, and say H4. So this is the delivery details or delivery address. Say details, and give a HR over here. Yeah, something like this. And on the other hand, Control X. So call MD6. Over here also we are going to have a H4 and say order details HR. So we need to write a query to fetch the product details from the product table and the order items from the order items table, and that should belong to this current order. So what we are going to do is we'll write a query over here We just divide the PHP and say dollar query, can say dollar order query is equal to select o.id as order, let's say OID, because we already have a column called order underscore ID, order ID, and then the order dot tracking number, and what else we need from the orders table. We have the user ID. Yeah, take the o dot user ID, and yeah, that will be fine, I guess, for the orders table. Let's go to the order items table, and over here we need all four things, right? So you can just say order items dot all from the orders table, that is O, and order items table OI, and the products table P. We just break the next line. Okay, so products table P, and we need to select the product details also, right? Just say P dot asterisk. Okay, and over here where the order dot ID, or just say order dot user ID, is equal to the logged in user ID. So just check if we have the user ID over here. No. Let's take it from here, copy this and paste it over here. Okay, so we got the user ID now, user underscore ID, yeah, user ID. So where the order dot user ID is the logged in user ID, and order items dot order ID should be equal to the order dot ID, and the product tables ID should be equal to our order items dot prod ID. So is it prod ID or product ID? Prod ID, okay. Prod ID, and the order dot tracking, let me just break this, order dot tracking number is equal to the dollar tracking number which we have on the first line. So over here, yeah, this one. So this will give us our all the details which we need to show the ordered items. Let us just execute this. Say dollar query run is equal to my SQLi query, pass the dollar $con comma dollar order query. Okay, so over here just say for each, or you can write an if condition first. If, put this in a function, say mysqli num rows of this is greater than 0. It will obviously be greater than 0, because if it is not at all there, then the user will not be able to place the order, right? So if there is an order, there will be a product, but for the safer side, we'll just put this in a if condition. So over here, let's start printing it. Say for each, don't require the key, as I can say item, and we'll just keep this in a table view, right? So let me start it from here. Yeah, table dot table t head tr and the th, you can just say product, or like we had for the cart page, right? You can just design it in a similar way. So we had the product image and name, then the price, not this one, the checkout page. Let's go to the checkout page. Over here, yeah, so the image, name, price and quantity, right? Can keep it as image and name, will keep it under the same thing, and the price and the quantity. Okay, so once the t head is done, we need the t body, table row, and this tr we are going to loop. Let me just say control X, fold this thing and paste it over here. Okay, and this tr is going to be inside this for loop. Divide the PHP, paste it over here. Yeah, and the first thing is going to be the image. So for that you need img, let's say td. Yeah, here you need img, and the src is going to be, it is inside the uploads, right? Yeah, so close the sidebar, write uploads slash your image. Okay, so if you just write image over here, because we have it in our here, right, items, right, item of image, because we have fetched the products table, all the data from that, right? So that column will also be there. So we've got the image, all text, you can just print the order item name, just copy and paste, say name, refresh. So here we have the image, right? So we are not able to see the alt text. Let me just make a mistake over here, and then we get to see the alt text, and it works fine. Yeah, name of the product. So just copy this and paste it over here. And for the image, we're going to give the height and width. Say width is equal to 50 px, height is equal to 50 px. Okay, then you have td, have the price. So just copy this and paste and say price and the quantity. So that is qty, I guess. Your order items, you have kept it as qty, and this is the price column. Yeah, refresh, and we have something over here. Let's just check. Okay, image, refresh. Yeah, so we have this price and quantity, but this is not center aligned, right? So let's just do it. So in your td, just add a class over here, say class is equal to align middle, and just copy it, copy, paste. Yeah, refresh, and you got everything in the middle. So if you want, you can just add an x over here, so it looks like multiplied Oh, this is not the quantity. Okay, so this is the product quantity, I guess, which is available in our table, right? So what we can do for this is have the oi dot star comma oi dot qty as order qty. Okay, so let us just print this, refresh, and there it is. So let us check for the other things. We have three, have one and two. Yeah, so first and second order was the same because we had not cleared the cart last time. So we got this thing, and now we can just show the total price over here. So once your TR is done, your table is still here, right? Yeah. So below the table, you can just give an HR firstly, and over here say H4 as total price span, like close the span over here, span dot float end. Okay, and here we are going to display the total price. So if you remember, we have the single record over here, right, in our dollar data variable, and we have the current order details in that. So you can directly use that dollar data of total price. Okay, refresh. Yeah, here it is. You can just make it a bit bold, or you can reduce the size to H5. Okay, and add a FW bold over here. Refresh. Yeah, and you can just show anything else over here, whatever you require. Let me just check in my orders table. The structure, you can show the payment mode also, and you have the status, right? Yeah, so here let me say dot border p1 and say dollar data of payment mode. Keep a label over here and say the payment mode. Okay, we'll add a b3 over here. Refresh. Yeah, we can add a HR so it is differentiated. Yeah, so you got the payment mode and the status. Copy that, paste, say status, status. So over here we have the status as tiny integer, right? So we have tiny int. So we will just update it as 0, 1, 2. And over here, if it is 0, then it means if it is like placed, order is placed. And if it is 1, that means it's completed. If it is 2, then it is cancelled. You can just keep it like that. So let me just write it over here in a if condition. PHP and if dollar data of status is equal to 0, then echo pending or order placed. However, you can just skip, like, or you say under process, else if the same thing, copy and paste. If it is 1, then it is completed. Else, and you can just add a for here. If the status is equal to 2, then you got to echo cancel. Say cancelled. Refresh, and here it is. So over here, just put that above that thing. Refresh. Yes, and we'll just make it bold. Class is equal to fw bold. Refresh. Yeah, so this looks good, and we'll add a back button over here. Scroll up, and in this card header, after this view order thing, you can just add an a.btn and say btn warning float hand, say back. The href will be myorders.php. Copy that, paste. Yeah, and we have the font icon, like the font awesome included, so I'll just use it. I.fa fa reply, save, refresh. Yeah, so we'll just give a color to this. Card header bg primary. Okay, so we'll just make this a bit bigger and white color. Say h4. And give the color as class is equal to text white. Refresh. And why is this not aligned? Let's just check. Okay, so we are not supposed to use h4. Instead, you can just use a span, and we'll give it a size. Give fs3. Okay, refresh. And yeah, it's still too big. We'll just reduce it. fs4. Yeah, now it looks good. So we have the order details over here. Go back. Let's check another order. And yes, so that's it in this video, guys. We have seen how to make the view order details page and display all the ordered items in our PHP e-commerce project. So thank you for watching this video, guys. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you.